Welcome! This video is for B2B AI agency owners, and I want to talk about 5 practical, tactical marketing lessons that I've learned from interviewing B2B AI agency owners and working with them. We're going to go over niching down, speed to lead, diversification, building for scalability right from the beginning, and the interplay of content versus delivery and how to allot the time. So let's get into that. The first point being niching down to less tech-savvy industries. I had this conversation where we're exploring to either focus on the niches that are usually considered the first go-to niches, SaaS for example, or rather less tech-savvy industries, for example, accountants, chiropractors, dentists. And so while we are on this topic, these types of businesses also tend to be contacted a lot about, do you guys need leads? Do you want an advertising agency? Do you need social media marketing, etc., accounting services? So we want to be mindful of that. For example, a client that I have in New Zealand, he targets very specific retail shops for clothing. And I told him that this is a great niche to be in because these shops do not get talked to that much like chiropractors and dentists and lawyers, etc. So this is one point that we definitely want to consider. Speed to lead as a competitive advantage. A lot of businesses lose out on business because they're not fast enough to get back to the leads. This is what I see as one of the biggest low-hanging opportunities in AI currently, because we can get to leads faster and in that bring a lot of value to the business. Yeah, and we are back. Okay, great. Speed to lead. And so it increases the conversions, it improves the customer satisfaction, and it can be a competitive edge without letting anybody go and without actually necessarily utilizing AI in a way that you may not feel great about. So speed to lead is a great opportunity to get into, although we want to be very careful of handling client data. If we handle client data, we may want to consider offering them a larger upsell for a local solution or a cloud-hosted solution, in the sense of that they have their own cloud server with their own data where that's being hosted. So when we are talking about speed to lead, we want to be aware of that and the requirements of the company. But usually we can get started with offering these solutions through make.com or N8N initially, and then offer them the larger upsell because they realize that actually having all of this data in a private way is going to cost them more, right? So diversifying client acquisition approaches. How to diversify client acquisition approaches? Well, there are many different ways, and it makes sense to pick only one. The one that is beneficial. And I just went through a process myself of actually clarifying what type of channels I use, because YouTube is working, that's where you're watching right now, likely. LinkedIn is also very much working. And then there's a newer platform called School, where communities are being hosted, which is working currently the best. And so I've realized that I'm just going to utilize the calls that I have with clients to make one of those reflection videos after every client call, so I also increase my capacity to talk about these topics and to present and to get better on camera while building the YouTube momentum, which doesn't take that much time. And for the LinkedIn, only once per week I'm going to send a connection request. I'm going to cross-share these videos to LinkedIn, and that's all that I'm going to do. Everything else will happen in the communications, either in the DMs on LinkedIn or in the DMs on School for client acquisition. So we want to find out networking events. Can that be something? I am very, very keen on, excuse me please, I am very keen on in-person lead generation. That seems to be working, or I have seen that working for people that I've talked to in the United States, in the UK, in Australia, in New Zealand, and lots of English-speaking countries, and in South America as well. I've recently spoken to somebody in Lima for whom that is also working. In-person lead acquisition, because with these types of solutions like AI, you already have the novelty factor on your side. It is not like you're selling leads, as I said, to lawyers or dentists, which they have heard a lot. It is also not that you're selling a CRM system or you're selling them social media management. They're like, nah, we have somebody who does that. It's not novel. But if you, in this AI opportunity, you have the novelty, the curiosity on your side, which is great. Now we just gotta take a look at the trust component to that. And this is exactly where the in-person client acquisition or lead generation is coming in, that you build the trust, you start within your network, and then you find people from there. So if you would like me to break that down to further steps of what I've seen currently working for people, let me know in the comments. Obviously, content creation, referral programs is very strong as well, to deliver well for one client and then make it a habit to actually really nurture the client after the delivery is being done and continuously and strategically ask for more referrals. So digital marketing, obviously, and we know what that is. So creating scalable knowledge products. We have been talking about creating a course with content, but as an agency owner, you can utilize these trainings, or even if it's just an assembly of Loom videos currently, to walk people through an onboarding process so that you get to build and test the digital product as you go. Is this coming back or is it not? We will find this out. Well, in any case, so we were going to, so let's go into niching then. We want to pick a niche that we are very much familiar with, that we know the language of, that we have most preferably already in our warm networks, so that we can get case studies from the people that we already have built trust with. Because as I said, if you match novelty and trust, you can get very quick success with AI, and you can also sell the solution before you've even built it, if you have the trust and if you're confident at what you do. It seems that the napkin is not coming back. That is unfortunate, so we will leave it for this video. Thank you everybody for watching.